Welcome. Here today we have a fabulous multi-tool, patented way back in late 1770 by one Samuel Harris of Boston. Patent, both in the technical drawings and the description, describes a combination file and flathead screwdriver for all of those occasions when you need both of those tools. Just an incredible example of ingenuity from nearly 150 years ago. I mean, you could only hope to find something like this these days when the Home Shopping Network or something like that. And shockingly, there is no record of this thing going to this design going into production. Sure, it's a timing thing. It's just too ahead of its time. I'm sure Harbour Freight or something are ready to drop a knockoff of this thing any day now. In Figure 1 here, we can see the file in position. Figure 2, a locking mechanism, nice and spring-loaded there. And of course, down here we can see the tool runs the entire length of the handle. I really love these multi-tools. You just can't get enough of them. I mean, who could be expected to carry both a file and a screwdriver? So, without further ado, let's see if I can make it. Well, that was fun. So what did we learn? Other than I'm not very good at working with copper. Sanded through a few spots here and there. Why might this tool not have seen any kind of production outside the design stage? Well, for one, there's some fairly costly elements to this tool. The main channel through the handle here. The way I did it, splitting the wood, routing the channel and gluing it back together, not necessarily the best course of action, particularly for a tool that's going to be used in any kind of twisting fashion, like with the screwdriver. For a production tool, you'd probably want to be drilling that out, doing some kind of broaching, whole bunch of custom jigging, I'd imagine. The ferrules on each end being weird shapes, that's not great. Particularly this guy on the end with all the curves, the flats, the angles. You're probably going to be looking at a bunch of stamping to produce those, maybe even progressive stamping to get the depth. Again, just adding to the cost of this thing. As you can see, I did a slightly different design so I could fold it, or at least attempt to fold it. The channel that's in this, the tool itself, which is actually described in the patent. Now that's a great bit of design. What that does is that the pin never leaves the channel. It's a retention mechanism. So it means that when you lift the pin and slide the handle, even if you're holding it up, it's not going to fall back out of the tool. That's tool ergonomics from 150 years ago. That's pretty impressive. It's great stuff. Unfortunately, these dimensions that we're working with, this blade here is I think about 4 millimeters. If we've got a 4mm channel or a 4mm blade, and the channel runs half that depth, that's about 2 millimeters of max travel. That means all these pin shoulders, your spring compression, the bottom of your channel, that all needs to be within a fairly tight tolerance for this to operate as expected. Wouldn't be a problem these days, but I imagine that could be problematic in the 1800s. And let's not forget, this is a metal file running through a wooden channel. Let that sink in. For a design that relies so heavily on manufactured tolerances, they seem to have glossed over what a metal file does to wood. The lifespan, not so much of the tool itself, but those tolerances wholly depend on how good your file is. You manufacture a great file, stick it in this thing's going to be wallowed out and flopping all over the place real quick. Lastly, number one rule of product development: make sure you're filling a need. I can't actually think of a reason for this thing to exist. Perhaps back in the day you needed to touch up all your screws before you drive them into the work, but I don't know, I'm at a loss. If you can think of a specific job that might have warranted this thing, or even would warrant it today, let us know down below. In the meantime, I'm going to file this where it belongs, no pun intended. So thanks for watching. Let me know if you want more in this series. I'm going to continue to look at multi-tools just because they're cool. And we'll be back in the next one. Cheers.